the silent crying of the bat. Long time ago, when I was young, and felt the urge to spread my wings, I moved to Florence on my own, to write about what dreams may bring. I found a cheap one-bedroom flat, high off the ground, a little sty, that had one window with a ledge, where I would often sit and sigh. I had no friends, neither a muse, few things to occupy my time. And so I took to watching nights, from lonesome perch up in the sky. Across from me a tower stood, with gargoyles on its bleak facade. And many moonlit nights I've spent, discerning faces caked in mud. On one such warm and moonlit night, while I was dreaming on that ledge, a shadow passed before my eyes, and landed on the tower's edge. It then proceeded up to climb, onto the tallest of the spires. And at the top, on little shelf, it then decided to retire. It wasn't far away from me, perhaps twice length of my cramped flat. And on that moonlit night, I saw the shadow was a bat. Black as the soot, it folded wings, and raised its head towards the moon. Then held itself in that one pose, as if from granite it was hewn. I'm sure it strived to sound the cry, of that there couldn't be a doubt. Yet when it tried, no voice would come, out of that open mouth. It stayed like that, its jaws set wide, silently crying in the night. And in the end, before sunrise, it flew away from sight. But from that time, on moonlit nights, some part of me became inspired. And I would wait with bated breath, for creature crying on the spire. So it went on, until one night, my beating heart was filled with dread. Because I saw two red eyes, that looked at me, and then it said, "Indeed you're right, so very right, that I am crying in the night. But only since I have been wronged, and my great misery prolonged. I do not swear neither complain, in silence voicing out my pain. And angry words I never use, neither will hurl an abuse at my tormentor, Mother Nature, to whom I'm but a misadventure. For who am I compared to Job, that prince the devil tried to rob of all the rightful things in life, took everything, left only strife. Yet with his body and soul clawed, he still refused to curse his God. No, I will not profane my mother, truth to be told I'd rather kill myself and put an end to this sad fart of the damned." I must have looked quite mystified, for it cocked grim face with a sigh. "I see you don't quite understand why I speak so about my dam. Give me a chance, I will explain what's causing me to vent such pain. First bore me, then she wronged me thrice, exacting heavy price. She made me mute, a silent scourge. I'm speechless yet possessed of urge. Neither a mouse, nor a bird, I am the worst of both these worlds. Ungainly horror of dark skies, that terrifies all-seeing eyes. And yet on this monstrous blank, was played her cruelest prank. She gave me softness, and good sense, with beating heart and soul in chest. Needs to share myself with others, empathy towards my brothers, who so reject my countenance. For never ever, even once, was I allowed near other beasts. They batter me with hooves and fists, and curse at me, and sometimes bite, because I give them such a fright. And when I try beg them to cease, my anguished soul is crying please. Yet voice does never forth come out, from my oft bloodied mouth. Yet I'm not mad, it's not the fault of those committing the assault. They are just brutes, and don't you see, we are what Mother made us be. I'm not upset, yet sometimes dream, being suspended from a beam, that she had given me distemper, to round off looking like a leper. For then I wouldn't give a damn, if I am heard or I scare them. And always let my fearsome form do all my roaring like a storm. But when I wake it makes me sick, instilling terror in a week. Then from my torments I take flight, and to the moon I cry at night. For she has been my only friend, who listens and who understands. And my life wouldn't be the same, without that wise, silver-haired dame. She won't submit to mother's laws, never attacks me with her claws, and never turns away from me, when I cry out in misery. She doesn't do things by the book, she doesn't judge me by my looks. And I believe she sees my soul, yes, she accepts me as a whole. My place is next to her, I know, forever basking in cool glow. And gentle she would be with me, at her pale feet I'd always be. I tried to reach her, flew straight up, but she's too far. I had to stop. And even though we'll never meet, her friendship's my life's only treat. Because a soulmate in one's life, with whom to share both good and strife, is lifeline thrown in stormy sea, determines whether one will be or will not be, to paraphrase, the greatest student of your race. To all that breathes this truth applies, and as for me, this is no lie. Her crescent gone out of my life, would run right through me like a knife. Then I'll give in, to never dry, and I will surely, surely die. Dark tears appeared and crystallized out in the corners of dark eyes. And through wet pupils, black as coal, I almost glimpsed the gentle soul. But shudder passed right through me then, and when I opened tear-soaked eye, I was still sitting on the ledge. It was a time before sunrise. I saw a shadow taking off, right from the top of tallest spire. And in my mind I still heard words, said without malice, without ire. Since that one mystifying night, I've often seen the crying bat, but it has given not a sign, about our odd and dreamlike chat. Then on one ordinary night, bright orb was in its full pale bloom. Yet through some destiny or fate, that time was chosen to bring doom. For our moon began to change, and I recalled with mounting fear that we were in for full eclipse, the night was going to turn queer. I did remember what it said, about to loss one can't sustain, and got right up and put my face against the coldness of glass pane. Now I could see the poor beast steer, and restlessly begin to move, while moon continued slowly wane, for nature had nothing to prove. It raised itself far as it could, stretching itself towards the sky, wide open mouth trying to scream, but none came forth, not even sigh. I felt its shock and misery. An orphan in cold world was left, without their one and only friend, who wouldn't feel themselves bereft. But worst of all, it felt betrayed. Where was the writing on the wall? To have one's heart ripped out like that, must be unkindest cut of all. Suppressing tears, I tried to shout, tried to point out, tried to explain that Mother Nature's playing games, and started banging on the pane. There was no point to it, of course, against one's fate they cannot fight. Though we made one hell of it there, silently crying in the night. With lunar light fading out fast, infinite gloom pervaded all. And I was losing sight of bat, but what I saw upset my soul. For it stopped moving on the shelf, and put down slowly fearsome head. It seemed to have made up its mind, which filled my own with awful dread. In dying vestiges of light, it spread wide open its great wings, and flapped them gently once or twice, then from my sight it disappeared. I prayed it wasn't driven mad, the moon was not for it to reach. Envisioning that greatest fall, and broken corpse on land, or beach. Light started making its return, and I began to strain my eyes. Yes, creature was still on the shelf, but it was hard to recognize. It folded its great pair of wings around itself, just like a tent, and with shy head tucked in it looked, a smooth dark mound without a dent. It stayed like that for many days, sun beating on it, rain and slit. Yet never did it ever steer, having decided life to quit. All this was many moons ago. I've changed since then and found my voice. Though never did find my soulmate, it seems we don't all have the choice. I moved away, yet I come back, to that small flat up in the sky. And bring a bottle of good wine, for current owner, decent guy. Yes, once a year I do return, a pilgrim from a time long past. And on those moonlit nights, I sit on ledge, and glances cast. Nearby the old tower still stands. I always peek at its facade. Just like I did so many times, at leering faces caked in mud. But I do not spend time on them, they are but lonely, heartless stones. That in the past were curved by men, brutal and heartless, all alone. No, I direct my sights up high, into dark skies, close to the moon. A gargoyle there is what I seek, and seeing it's my greatest boon. With passing time just bones remained, bleached white by sun's remorseless fire. Of nature's lost, mistreated son, the one that cried on tallest spire. Yet on these moonlit nights, I sense its spirit did hers meet. And on much higher plane of life, it sits contented at her feet. They chat and laugh, and even cry, for it has always been their fate. And sometimes when the moon's just right, she's seen embracing her soulmate. There is no reason to deny that nature, with a heavy hand, has monumental influence on the affairs of beasts and men. Yet by that oddest gift of reason, it's our decision in the end. Submit as if we are mere brutes, or stand and fight like we are men. Sic transit gloria mundi may be what existence all about. But we don't have to play that game, not to forget the silent shouts. If we can learn to recognize those among us without a voice, who may look different, or strange, though it is never by their choice, then each of us can be a moon, perhaps not constant, but enough to rid the world of one more scourge, for dreams are made of such a stuff. One more scourge, for dreams are made of such a stuff.